All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. We want to give double honors to our apostle elders, great millstone, who teach very well, overnight this truth from and salutation out there to the hopeful elect, who continue to push his word in our truth, faith, and sincerity. And we, the brothers here from GMS Birmingham, Camp on Brother Raheem with me.
Brother Tazaiwan.
And today, man, just basically getting on, be not conformed to this world, man. Because all these things that leads to comfortability, guess what's going to lead to? That sea help.
Right.
You know, Baba Gushai, if you may, you can start off with that Revelations 3 and 10. You know, because again, Esau, he's not going to tempt you with, yeah, man, I'm going to give you some spiritual understanding. He ain't going to tempt you with books and edification. No, he's going to tempt you with the flesh. And that's why we push brothers, you know, we push upon ourselves and upon brothers to be disciplined, man. And basically to live that stoic lifestyle. Because once certain things get taken away, if you're so used to something, you know, basically you're going to be weak, for the lack of better words.
Right.
You know, you got it, bro.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
Right there, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. You go into the word patience. You know, that means wait, but it also means what? To suffer. You know, and we already know what Acts 14 and 22 says, through much tribulation shall we enter into the kingdom of heaven. So a lot of things is going to be, for the lack of better words, in straits. You know, you're going to be between a rock and a hard place. And there's going to be Yahweh Shai setting up for you to believe in him.
Right.
You know, when all these things get taken away, all these different luxuries of life, something simple as turning on the lights and flushing the toilet, having an AC on, you know, it's 90 degrees outside and it's 673 where you at. All these different comfortable luxuries going to be taken away. And once they be taken away, you're going to do two things. Either you're going to cleave unto Esau and their comfortability, or you're just going to trust in the Lord. You got it, bro.
Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Right, they get their word temptation real quick for me. Because again, they are going to play upon the flesh, and it's going to be a world thing. You know, we already can see that this guy Elon Musk, he's pushing forth that Jeebus technology that's pushing forth. And that's going to be a part of those miracles that these people coming through. But what about the, that's the one in the forehead, but what about the one in your right hand? In order for you to pay your bills, in order for you to go to work or receive that direct deposit, they're going to require that thing inside you.
Right.
You know, you got it, bro.
And so, like, if I may, we see, you know, even when that jab came out, how he was tempting Jake. You know, he was tempting, hey, jabs for joints. You know, you take the jab, we're going to give you this joint. You know, lap dances.
Yeah,
you know,
for some bucks.
Yeah, you know, fries.
Yeah.
You know, we'll give you some fries, you know, if you take, you know, this jab. Well, we're not ignorant to same devices, man. We know he going to tempt you, man. You know, he come with food, you know, like you say, luxury, those luxury AC. You know, you got to, in order to get your AC back, you know, you're going to have to come down here and you're going to have to take this little tiny device inside of you, man. You know. But this is that word you have wanted patience.
Temptation.
So like temptation. Strong's G 3986. An experiment, attempt, trial proving, the trial made of you by my bodily condition.
It says the trial made of you by bodily conditions, man. Telling you that this guy, he's going to play upon the flesh in that day. That's why it's a big thing of famine talking out. It's a big thing of starvation. And like the sneaker commercial says, once a nigga hungry, he's not himself.
Right.
So people going to be in this beast-like a state. In order for that beast to receive peace, for lack of better words, they're going to come to Esau.
Right.
I forgot it was an experiment with the drooling dog. Every time the bell ring, you feed him a treat. Every time the bell ring, you feed him a treat. And that bell ring again, and you don't feed him, guess what? His mouth will be salivating. Because again, that's something that he used to. And now how Esau did today, he have accustomed the people to really just trust in him. Every time the bell ring, we got to go to the government. Every time the bell ring, we got to go to the call the place and ask for an extension. They ain't gonna give you that extension, man, unless you have that thing.
Right.
You know, and it's gonna get to a point when people are gonna be kicked out their houses because they refuse that MOTB, that luxury, man. But it's all for what? The will of Yahweh Hashem and Hawashai.
Right.
Because the scripture says some trust in horses, some trust in chariots, but guess what? We're gonna trust and believe upon the Lord.
Ooh, that's it.
You got it?
And so, like if I made the scripture tells us, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not to thine own understanding. You know, but you got to get built up in the spirit. Now is the time to be seeking the Lord, getting right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, calling upon him while he is near. You know, getting your mind right for the times to come, man.
That's it.
You know, because again, like you mentioned, we're going to be tempted. You know, your faith is going to be tempted when it's hot as hell. You know, when you ain't got no food, you know, you see the water drying up.
Yep.
You know, that's something Jake be needing, you know, water, you know, food, you know, but Esau gonna come with that chip, you know, that Salaki, that thing, you know, and if you ain't built up, you know, you gonna, what they call it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
You know, you gonna take that bait, man, you know, and you take that seed of that thing, man, you gonna be destroyed.
Baba Kushai, just to add on to your point, you can get Ecclesiastes 12:1. Because again, that's why we warning the people right now. We building ourselves up now. So in that time, we'll be an example. You know, because it's going to be, the Lord going to perform miracles in that day. And that's one thing that we're looking forward to, Lord, lifting up that standard in that day. People going to be wondering, niggas going to have the chip and they still going to be hungry. But us, Lord, want to be a part of that number. The Lord going to have us prosper in that time, right? You know, and the reason why we're going to prosper, it's not going to be because, yeah, this, that, and the third, or, yeah, I'm just so mighty. No, man, it's going to be Yahweh by Hashem and Hawashai.
Right.
You know, you got it, bro.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth.
Right there. We're in our youth right now. You know, you got it.
While the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
And it's the time of Jacob's trouble, man. So you got to get right with the Lord here and now before all hell break loose, man. You know, and again, niggas refuse it. And instead of niggas focus on prophecy and what's going on, a so-called white man coming out having great wrath, he's finna get ready to get rid of 7.5 billion people upon the planet Earth and see-hip the rest. You know, we'll warn you of the evils of the devils while niggas just going about their everyday life. Thinking things are just going to stay the same. Yeah, we had the Crown 19, but you know, now it's back to the new norm. And all I got to do, work 9 to 5. And when I turn 65, I can retire. No, man. The Lord, he's finna get ready to return now. That's why it says, while the evil days come not and the years draw nigh. We're living in the Bible times, but we're finna get ready to go into that climax. Right. You know, that ultimate good versus evil. That ultimate battle, man, and it's gonna be a spiritual battle. Right. You know, we're gonna be hungry, man. Right. We're gonna be in certain situations, but we're gonna have to talk the talk and walk the walk, man. Right. Brothers just ain't talking. We realize that we're gonna be put in situations here in these latter days so we can show our faith. You know, you read Hebrews the 11th chapter, going down by faith, by faith, by faith. It wasn't by themselves; it was by faith. Right. You know. But again, their faith was built up to that point. You know, you got a lot.
That was it on that Ecclesiastes.
Read a little bit more.
While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few.
And the grinders cease because they are few, because people finna lose their jobs. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna lead them into what? A desperate state. Baba Kushai, look up the definition of desperation. Because that's what niggas gonna take that seed hip for, because they're gonna be in a desperate state. You know, it's a saying, desperate times cause for desperate measures. That's right. You know, and that's what it's going to be until the 2/3 mind and the rest of these heathens, the ones who take that thing, they're going to be in a desperate mindset. And the reason why you're going to be desperate, because you don't know the Lord. Only thing these people know is Esau, Edom, man, in this fucking world. You know, but like the scriptures say, this world is temporal, but the word that the Lord have for us to come is eternal. You got it, bro.
This that word desperation. A state of despair, typically one which results in rash or extreme behavior.
He said one that reacts in rash or extreme behavior. Niggas gonna make irrational decisions in that day, man. One corn like Esau, that one corn decision messed up his whole life. Sold this birthright. Now all of a sudden, now he gotta go into slavery. The same thing's gonna happen to these people today. Esau, he is wise. He know the scriptures, and just like Esau was tempted with food and sold this birthright, Esau's gonna play the same thing with you niggas today. It's a little bit more on that.
Oh, that's it.
Kind of go back into that Go back into Romans 12:2. Matter of fact, go to Micah 10. And Micah 2:10, Salaki.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Yes, he says, arise ye and depart. Because physically we here, but our mind was the Lord. Was that song? Your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of time. So we're basically in the mindset of Yahweh Shai here in these days. Read that again.
Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
This is not your rest. You shouldn't be comfortable here. And that's why we read Sirach, the 2nd chapter, when I come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. The Lord put us in uncomfortable positions so we can hate this place. You know, you got out.
Because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction.
Yes, it's going to destroy you even with a sword destruction, man. You know, that's really talking about your mindset, because that's the first thing that the devil destroy. But it's also talking about that sea hill. Because as soon as you take that thing inside your body, you're basically saying you love it here, you resting here, you love your master, your wife, you want to serve Esau forever, and the Lord going to destroy you for that, man. Because Yahweh Shai have a power in Israel to deliver us from all these things. But Jake don't want to know the Lord. Jake don't want to, for lack of better words, have faith and endure to the end. No, Jake want to have it the easy way. You know? You got it, bro.
Oh, that was
you go to that Romans 12:2, and we'll end off on that. And that's all it's about, man. Esau's going to give that sea hip into the ones who love it here, man. While the ones who reject this world in this society, either Esau, he going to declare you a medical extremist or whatever. Hey, or you're going to get your head chopped off. But doing these things, you know, refusing to see up and refusing Esau's advances or dainties, it puts you in a good light with Yahweh Shai. You know, you got it, bro.
It's like, if I may, that's why the Lord told us, love not the world, nor the things that are in the world. You know, you can't be attached to these things. You know, well, if you attach to these things, your house, your job, you know, your family, you know, your car, you know, them forges, you know, they got forges.
Forges on there,
them forges, you know, candy paint. You know, you gonna be driven to take that sea hip, man. You know, just to continue on here. You know, or to go to the game or some shit. You know, to watch TV. You know, watch Tubi. They love Tubi. You know, no Eve gonna take it. You know, Eve can't go without Tubi.
They want to watch Lifetime.
You know, so that's why we're not to love this place, man. You know, love not the world, nor the things that are in the world. You know, you gotta leave the world behind like the movie, man. You gotta let go of this shit, man. You know, because if you hold on to that shit, man, you're gonna be driven to take that sea hip, and you're gonna be destroyed, man. You know, but this is the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yeah, right there it says, don't be comfortable in this world, man, but be ye transformed. Like you was mentioning earlier, the Lord building up our faith, man. You know, all of a sudden, you know, you have a different outlook on life, and you realize that this life ain't shit. It's carnal, man. Let's say if you got $1 million, you ain't gonna have that shit tomorrow, because you're gonna spend it. This is a temporal society that we're living in, man. We're just pilgrims passing by. You got it?
So like, if I may, just made me think of Lot's wife, love of the world. And she looked back. You know, remember Lot's wife, man. You know, you got to let go of this place, man. You can't look back, go into the world, be thinking about the shit of this world, man. You know, you got to look ahead, man. You know, look to the kingdom, man. You know, the scripture say, seek ye first the kingdom.
Yep.
You know, that's what we'll be seeking, the kingdom to come. You know, fuck this place, man. This place is about to burn, man. You know, so you shouldn't be attached to nothing. You know, nothing, all this shit. The scripture say the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So anything you got on this side, man, your car, your house, your 401k, all that shit gonna burn, man. You know? But this is Romans chapter 12 and verse 2 again, Salaki. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High.
Yeah, so when you have this knowledge inside you, man, you know what's acceptable to the Lord and what's not. And it's not acceptable to the Lord for you to be conforming to this society. Because again, like you mentioned, if you hold on to all these things, then you become a mo.
Right.
Now you in the gay parade.
Right.
Now you defiled with the ways of Babylon.
Right.
You believe Gentiles can be saved now because you have been dwelling in filth, man. Your mind have been dwelling in filth because you want to stay here in this wicked place known as Babylon the Great. And like the brother was just mentioned, this shit is finna be destroyed. When it says that in 2 Peter's, knowing that all these things finna be destroyed, what type of person ought you to be?
That's it.
Should you be a person that want to stay here in it? No, man, we're looking at the time ahead. And we're investing in the time ahead by doing these video epistles and warning you people about the evils, man. You know? That was it on it? Yeah, so with that, Akim, we want to give our praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash. We want to give the honor to our apostle, Ray Millstone, and Shalom.
Shalom.